3 of my 100 Days of Code challenge. And today we're continuing working on the AI tool for the command line. This is the third time I've tried to stream today, but I've had a lot of technical difficulties. Still learning the streaming software. So let's jump into it. The plan for today is to polish the colors on the save dialog, to add spacing at the start and end of the AI streaming, and then the same at the end of the save dialog too. And I want to make save to context a choice with a default of yes, so that I can just hit enter twice if I want to store the conversation and update the context. And I also want to add structured outputs and add Grok as an option to the tool. I'll probably use Grok primarily for coding tasks anyway. So that is the plan. And where are we going to go first? So I already got a decent way through polish colors for save dialog. And some of adding spacing as well, and did a little bit of cleanup, removed some of the files. So now when we hop back to the terminal, when the context isn't written, it gets a purple message. And when the context is updated, it gets a cyan message. So now what I'm working on here is just getting... Oh, I need to switch with... You can't see the screen. There we go. I want to make this response piece stand out more and be a little bit more bold. So let's have a look. That's down the bottom. Oh no, it's not. Here we go. And I wanted to use SGR. If anyone hears that noise and knows what that is and how to turn it off, let me know. It just started popping up yesterday and I have no idea why. Maybe it's something VS Code is doing. So let's see, we want bold and SGR cyan for the response, and then after it we want SGR.reset. Let's take a quick look. There's the response there. I feel like maybe I want a new line at the end. After it's flushed the buffer, I guess we want 2 new lines. Yeah, I think that's a bit clearer. I kind of want to use orange though. I don't know why. Maybe it's just clashing with this above, but that's just my settings. I'll leave it for now, it's good enough. So let's see. I want to settings, we've got OpenAI. What I want to do is actually get rid of these conversations for now. That was 1, 2, I think. Yeah, that's me testing tables. Let's delete all of those. We can get rid of plan now because that stuff has been done. All right. So now I'm going to do zip get. Interesting. Let's just do it this way. So zip warning, name not matched. I'm going to just call this quick cleanup. Might as well push it. Git push. Let's try zip-get again. There we go. So that one. We'll drop this into the AI. I've made, let's see, following updates. So I've made the following updates to add color to some of the output in the save dialog, and added some spacing at the start and end of the buffer flush. This is to make it clearer for the user to differentiate between the commands that are running and the output at the end, so everything isn't squished together, it's easier to read. Here are the features that I want to implement today. Which one do you think you would want to work on first, and why? Now, because I've been using this session for the best part of a day yesterday and a little bit today, the context might be getting degraded a little bit. Structured output first. Good. That's what I would want to work on too. It becomes the contract ever. What? See, it took a while for me to select that input. It's getting to this slow point again. So I think I'm going to break the session again now. So for anyone who hasn't watched the other streams, how I'm doing this is I have a dev prompt where I set the rules, I set my code styles and all that kind of stuff. I tell it not to delete any code. I ask it not to give me inline code, zip files, diffs, anything like that. Just give me a single file download and keep all of the modules to sort of 200 to 400 lines of code. So it doesn't have to, I mean, it gets crazy. When you have a 2,000 lines of code that the AI is trying to update, it just doesn't work. Reliably, anyway. I've got modes, design mode, implementation mode, refactor, and so on. And I try to be explicit about which mode we're in. And fortunately, you can see what the AI is thinking. So I'll click that, and sometimes I'll catch it going into implementation mode when it shouldn't be. We're still talking about the design. Ask it to always inquire, and so on and so forth. And what I do to get to the next session is I ask it to write a summary. So I've noticed that this session is slowing down in the web. So I am going to ask you to write a summary of the library, of what you've worked on, and of what we're working on next. All right. So I get this experience in Grok 2 and OpenAI. The web experiences are just awful. Well, they're not awful, actually. They're really good, but they're awful if you want to do any sort of deep work on one topic over time. I hit the lag in the page, even on a brand new. I got a brand new Mac Studio, and I hit lag in the page after getting towards the end of the day, before I really hit context window issues. So here's the summary. So we're going to start a new one over here, and I'm going to paste in the dev prompt. Always be inquiring. Okay. There's a dog. Sounds like it's in trouble. Maybe it's just a shouty dog. So project summary, core components, purpose, a modular Node.js command line interface connects directly to OpenAI's chat completions, API for conversational streaming AI use. OpenAI JSON, bin AI, markdown renderer, package JSON, key behaviors, walk up from current working directory, define package JSON, treat it as project root, store persistent context in AI OpenAI JSON, model system prompt conversation logs, timestamps, etc. And it also has some metadata that we're using. Prepend the conversation history to each AI call for continuity. Stream tokens directly to... Oh, what happened there? Stream tokens directly to to standard out on completion. Prompt user for save path. Interactive autosave. TTY aware with default file names like conv turn md. Creates parent directories automatically. Ask before overriding. Writes clean markdown files while keeping ANSI colors only in the live stream. To terminal. Implementation milestones. Iteration, features, node size. It's kind of messed up, this table, unfortunately. I don't know what is going on out there. Current status. CLI runs correctly end-to-end with context updates and autosave. Markdown renderer is built and functioning in isolation. Integration into the working CLI is pending. Integration into the working CLI is pending. Requires inserting render hook. Let's find out what it means. Stuff like that. you already have a fully working CLI that connects to OpenAPI, streams responses token by token, saves the full output and updates OpenAI JSON. The Markdown renderer was designed to enhance that streaming process. It parses the live stream, detects Markdown structures like code fences and repaints them. This renderer doesn't replace your logic, it hooks into it. Right now, stream completion looks like this. To enable live Markdown rendering, we need to insert a renderer between stream. When I first generated the integration, the workspace didn't include your AI.mjs, only a placeholder file. Because of that, I couldn't safely inject the code in the correct place. So your working AI.mjs currently still prints raw stream text, while the new renderer module exists in, but hasn't been wired in yet. I think it's getting confused between the iterations that I've been uploading, basically, because it's probably tracking one file as one context, another file as another context. So when I started off with AI.mjs, and then I started adding the iterations because I want to quickly iterate and don't want to break anything. So I've been doing sort of AI I15 is the 15th iteration. So yeah, I don't think this is really relevant to us. Next development goals. Save to context confirmation. 2. Save to context confirmation. Default. Yes. No to yes after each run. I guess it's a skip if no. Don't really care about that. 2. Structured output mode. Allow our responses structured as JSON. Format text JSON. Yeah, okay. Text default. Optional schema path for lightweight validation. I don't know that I want to go there just yet. Validate and save JSON or text cleanly to file. Stream preview, post run validation. Okay. 3. Add Grok API capability. Grok.json. I want to keep them separate. Same interface, structured output. I don't want it to reuse the current context. Maybe the next step, implement structured output mode first. In Chat-GPT. Okay. Now it should ask me for the code. No stream. Are you adding features yourself? I didn't ask for no stream, did I? Format text, format JSON, send open API request, type JSON object. Let's see. If the response format wasn't, oh no, that's irrelevant because he's talking about the JSON part here. JSON pass buffered on success, proceed to autosave. On failure, show concise error. Text, save files, text.md. Not sure about what it's trying to say there. Autosave prompt, TTOR. DIRs, context updates. Non-TTY piping, still right to standard out live. Buffer for validation. Truncation, interrupt, control C, skip validation. Offer to save partial. Don't worry about the edge cases and safeguards right now. We can address those later when they come up. Test plan. Don't worry about tests for now. This is just a very quick tool, and adding tests for this is going to be overkill. Let's see, minimal internal modularization. Keep module small and testable. Introducing name suggestions, options, pure flag passing and normalization. Okay. Response shape, maps format to open a request. Okay, so tell me more about where are we? Stream JSON buffer. Okay. Yeah. Validate JSON. Okay. I can see why we would need that. Save outputs. Handles extension, override prompts, absolute path preview. Yeah. And tell me more about questions. Confirm the name, format, text JSON, default text is okay. Yep. For JSON validation, do you want only syntax validation now? No schema. Yeah, no schema validation for now. On invalid JSON in non-TTY mode, is a non-zero exit acceptable as a default? Where you're talking about on invalid JSON in non-TTY mode, is a non-zero exit acceptable as a default? No partial file by default. Yes, a non-zero exit code is fine. Do you want the default autosave to select yes by default? when you're talking about questions, ABE, question 4, do you want the default autosave to select yes by default? It wasn't clear to me whether you were talking about the conversation itself or whether you were talking about the saving of the context, or both. It wasn't clear to me in questions ABE number 4, do you want the default autosave to select yes by default? Yes, I do, but it wasn't really clear to me whether you were talking about saving the context or saving the file, but I think the same is true for both. The default should be yes. I do think you should save partials though. If you approve the spec, I'll switch to implementation mode. Stay in design mode for now. Everything that I haven't addressed from your comments looked good to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing your answers to my questions. All right, what we got? Let's see what it's thinking. Got it, still in design mode. I've removed no stream from the plan. We'll also keep edge cases minimal for now and skip the tests per your call. Below are the deeper specs for the 2 modules you asked about, plus clarifications on partials and autosave defaults. Purpose. Response shape. A tiny pure function module that takes your normalized CLI options and extracts the request payload. For the chat completions API, nothing more. It centralizes the format request mapping to bin AI.mjs stays clean, and the behavior remains testable later. Just being told the stream is working, that's good. Inputs, example structure. Lib context update format. Clarifications you gave logged in. How the 2 modules fit into the flow. Open points I'm deliberately not expanding per your direction. Okay. Listen, GPT. I'm surprised that you're digging into what you're digging into right now. Actually, no, because I've just asked it for that. So maybe that's... don't want to confuse the thing. I'm going to come back to these. I haven't read through that all properly. I've just skimmed it. But what I wanted to ask it is a bit of clarification on where it's going to start. So you have listed a bunch of features to be added to different files, and I liked your naming of the files. That was good. What I would like to learn from you is which file you would want to work on first and why. I apologize for all the noise in the background. It's I live between 2 restaurants, so it gets crazy with trucks and parking and all kinds of things. Yeah, it hasn't even. So, okay, so I'll tell you what I would have worked on first. I would have worked on, where is it? Where did it give that list of files? Here we go. So I don't want to change your opinion, but I want to let you know what I would have worked on first. I would have worked on liboptions.mjs. See if you can figure out why I would have thought of working on that option first. I don't want to influence it too much. You'd start with live options first because the options layer is the contract for everything downstream. Yeah. Single source of truth for behavior, blast radius control, deterministic, clear dependency order, options, request shape, stream past. Happy to flip my order. You wrote lib options, no slash. When I say lib/options.mjs, I mean lib/options.mjs. It's only that I'm communicating to you via voice, not via text, so sometimes characters get missed. Now that we've discussed an alternate approach to the work, give me your brutally honest, balanced opinion of which one should be tackled first. Lib options, okay. Balance take. Counter arguments, the smallest, lowest risk slice, pure mapping with no blast radius. You can prove JSON wiring quickly. Where response shape first can bite later, you're duplicating defaults here. Both in Clyde glue and response shape, which drifts over time. Prompt behavior. Given your goals, clean results, predictable UX, future provider parity is the sturdier foundation. Okay, I trust your opinion. Switch into implementation mode and give me as little. I was going to say give me as little complete code as you can. I don't want it to try and do everything all at once and get lost. So let's stay in design mode for a minute. Staying in design mode for a minute. To what extent do you plan to deliver the features we've discussed in this next iteration? Do you want to break it into multiple iterations? And can you? Or do you need to tackle all of this in one go? Introduce the minimum viable structured output plumbing without touching save, pass, or partial logic. Yeah. Okay. Why stop here? Zero risk to existing Clyde behavior. We can verify argument passing and requests. Shaping. Sets a clean scene for the next step. If something breaks, we know it's flag handling, not streaming. Yeah, good. Iteration 14. Structured output behavior. Okay. Okay, good. I agree. Tell me which iteration you perceive us to be on currently for each file. Someone said the other day I need to get some music on my stream, so I'm going to have to work on that. I think if it's in the background and I'm not talking, you don't know if the stream's still running. Plus, there's a lot of silence generally in these kind of boring programming videos. All right, what do we got? No code changes yet. Here's my best explicit read. AI MJS iteration 12. Nope. Okay, maybe the AI summary before gave me some bad numbers. If you take a look at the files I provided, did I provide the files? I don't know if I did actually. I don't think I did I? Have I provided you with the code base yet? Of course. Yes, please go ahead. Oh, I thought the size bytes was the iteration number for a moment. Extraction complete. I've unpacked your upload and indexed the files. Project tree, download tree listing. Let's have a look at that and see what we get. I've also prepared an interactive inventory of all files, path size, modified time. Okay, bit overkill, but no problem. Now that you've had a chance to review the code, which iteration do you perceive us to be on for all of the files that exist so far? Yes. Based on the files in the project, here's my read. Iteration 15, iteration 5, iteration 1. Okay, that's correct. I think we have a plan. If you agree, switch into implementation mode and let's see what happens. This should take a little while. It's going to follow the required coding conventions, tabs, quotes, ESN module format. There are inconsistencies with the package JSON using module true, though, while it's usually type module. Oops, that's my bad. That's my dev prompt being bad. Whoops. Let's update this. I meant to say type module. Okay. All right. Implementation mode engaged. Options. So this will be AI lib. Options iteration 1. Use MJS. Response shape iteration 1. Use MJS. AI 15. I think if the iteration number for the bin AI should now be 16 because you just iterated on 15, correct? Don't take this as a request for a new file or okay. So we're going to rename this to 16. So this is going in bin. 16.mjs. Use MJS. Okay. What changed? Concise. Options. Normalizes CLI flags with your defaults. Defaults to text. Accepts format text JSON and shorthand JSON. Sets auto save default yes and context save default yes. True for future use. Response shape. Pure mapping of format body to request body. Adds response format JSON object when format is JSON. No mutation of the original body. Good. Minimal glue only. Imports the two modules. I avoided touching any other logic, prompts, autosave behavior or files. No tests added per your instruction. No edge case logic introduced beyond safe passing. Okay. So what will be the number of the next iteration you give me for the bin AI.mjs? Iteration 17. Okay. So it's on the same page now. Good. Right. So let's go take a look at the code. And what was this? Oh, interesting. That's the tree. I thought it said it put more information in there, but I don't see it. Okay, so I'm interested to see git diff bin AI 15 and bin AI 16. There is a diff. What do we got? Is there a way on Mac to get colored output in from the diff command? Method 2 color diff. Diff so fancy. I already have diff so fancy. I'm going to try this. installing diff utils with brew, and then maybe I misread that. gdiff, brew install diff utils, gdiff. Oh no. I got confused between these two. I kind of blurred them in my head. All right, between those two. Brew install diff utils. I didn't save the context, so I can't ask it a follow-up question. Whoops. I must have color. Come on. Oh well. How to make diff color on Mac with diff utils installed via brew. Oh, okay. All right, so let's edit. Where are my aliases? Color diffs. And source. Yay. Alright. We have color. Alright, so the new things it added. Import pass options. Okay. Import shape request body. Slicing up the arguments. Normalizing the options. Okay. Wait, man. All right. So that's bin. Let's take a look in lib. It didn't change the renderer. It's response shape. Options. Okay. I'm glad it's handling the options in its own module. That's good. All right. So what's next? Let's talk to AI about how to test this. What is the best way for me to test? Let's be more precise. Give me a list of tests I can run to validate your changes. I hope it realizes I'm asking about manual tests and not test files for a test framework. Let's see what it's thinking though. It's not really thinking. I mean it is, but it's not telling me why or what. Thinking blank. Alright. Here's a tight checklist you can run without changing the code base. Where possible, I give exact shell commands and the expected outcome. These focus on what changed. Options, normalization, and request shaping. Okay, node. Okay, your idea of what I really want to test is Let's read through this in more detail. Node, input type module, import pass options. Can you just give me some simple commands I can run from the terminal using the actual library? So normally, my normal usage is AI space quote, then the question that I'm asking the AI, then closing quote, and then I hit enter. What tests should I run like that with flags to test that this thing works? Or can't we do that yet? Are we not at that stage? When I said actual library there, I meant actual entry point. Baseline, say Paul and nothing else. We should then capitalize that. Paul, good. Let's try that. AI. Oops. AI format JSON, return only a compact JSON object. Okay, true, that looks good to me. What else are we testing here? Format JSON, return only a JSON object with keys, tool equals AI CLI, and then some kind of ISO format. That doesn't look like it's hitting this. Is this, oops, is this expected? Oh, I think I got it confused. I hit it too many times. Is this the expected result? I'm wondering if this is, this doesn't look like structured output to me. This doesn't look like. All right, let's test some of the other things in case there's more. Well, we can see it's wrong. AI JSON return only status okay. Okay, that looks good. Piped output plus JSON mode. That looks wrong too. And it looks like it skipped the save dialog and just auto-saved. So which one was this? For test number 3. Which other one here we're looking at? And here is the result of test number 5, piped input plus JSON mode. It looks like it auto-saved in this mode, where I would have expected it to bring up the dialog. I do want the dialog in all cases. Invalid format should error. Okay. I'm not going to be using invalid format, so I don't really care. Sanity check that text mode is unchanged. Okay. What these validate right now, iteration 16. Format is passed. Okay, let's give it this information and see what it says. So for what went wrong, likely 1, you said your AI alias probably points to AI.mjs. Actually, there is no AI.mjs on my .mjs on my file system. You can see, I think, from the package JSON that I'm linking to. Maybe I'm linking to the wrong version. Let's check. Yep. Let's rerun those tests with the correct. Whoops. All right, so hello exactly once. Yep. Let's try that one again. I think this one didn't work. So it's possible. So I think my console log logic to start the response piece is after where it should be, or maybe the AI did that. Maybe I should put it's whenever I have an error. I think it might be VS Code. Did VS Code add sounds in a recent update? When I produce an error state in VS Code on Mac, I get a little doo-doo sound. Yes. Well, that's annoying. Audio cues enabled off. Let's get rid of that. It doesn't even look. Should have saved the context. That's not. Huh. Okay. Hopefully that will take care of things. Let's see what we have here. There's an error here I'm noticing. I've noticed this line looks like it has an error. Line 191 of AI.mjs iteration 16. I said iteration 16 and it just updated like that. That's fascinating. That's better. Is there an error up the top there? What about line 2 of the same file? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. So let's hook this into. Oh, we already hooked it into 16 there. Let's get rid of this. NPM link is NPM link. Oh, you crazy AI. All right, NPM link. Let's try. Write hello exactly once. Let's try this again. Yep, that's good now. All right, fantastic. Now let's go find one of the older tests. There's an error, good. That's what we expected. Format text. That one worked. This one didn't work. Let's see what we get. That looks better. Awesome. Awesome. So all of your tests that you gave me to check in the recent couple of turns, no, it's not. That's going to confuse it. All of the tests that you gave me in the more recent turn are now working. What do you think the next step should be? Okay, proposed iteration 17. Design mode summary, no code yet. Stream buffer. JSON pass gate. Keep streaming as is now. Buffer chunks in parallel on completion. JSON pass the buffer, yep. If okay, proceed to save flow. If pass fails, off to save partial, yep. Always prompt to save even when piped. Default yes, enter for both, yep. Extensions JSON, MD for text mode. Consider for a moment, if you will, staying in design mode. What if I want my output to be ES latest modular JavaScript? How would you handle that within structured output? Always ask the model for JSON deterministic to compile JSON to ES locally. Yes, but isn't there a model that provides the right kind of output itself for OpenAI in this use case? For this use case. I've used it before, so I hope it still exists. Yes, there is emerging sport. No, wait. Okay, so I've used a model by OpenAI before, and it was called Structured Output, but it could produce JavaScript, it could produce Python, it could produce anything you asked it for, and it wouldn't give the sort of markdown type text with headings and bold and stuff like that. It would just do JavaScript. Are you saying that is not possible? And how do you know? Match developer supplied JSON schemas. Function calling, tool support. Guarantee adherence to the schema. Yeah, a JSAST object. Why I was cautious, the real world operational limits. Model availability and support. My revised recommendation in light of your memory, given that you've used a model with structured output that gives code, and it worked. In the code that you have at the moment, are you using a different model for structured output, or are you still hitting 4.0? Yep, I would like to use the structured model. Good. How about this? How about providing a flag to the user to specify their model, and it updates the model in the OpenAI JSON file? Discuss pros and cons. Design mode. Choose a model from the CLI file is useful. It needs guardrails. Fast experimentation. Reproducibility. Scripting friendly. Accidental persistence. One flag can rewrite. Silently write. This is a team of 1. 2 if you include yourself, GPT. So that doesn't apply. What did you mean by this? Multi-provider support will have a JSON file for each provider. It's pulling stuff from memory from the prototype I worked on. It's really interesting. Recommended design, ephemeral flag model. Use the model for this invocation only. Persistent. I prefer the persistence. Set model. Oh, okay. That's good. All right, so I can override it. I don't think the format check is really necessary. I do, however, really like the idea of model for one go and set model for persistence. That's good. I'm not sure the precedence needs to be that detailed. I think just using model and set model, else OpenAI.json model is fine. That's as far as you need to go. Nice to have list models. No need to worry about the nice to haves just yet. AI. Note that AI at the start of the command is lowercase. It's only uppercase because I'm in my text when I talk to you because I'm using voice control. For JSON, yeah. Excuse me. Oh, I like that. It's going to ask us whether we want to, if we really want to update the persisted model. As we're still in design mode, can you show me what it might look like to get ES latest in an .mjs file wrapper using this tool with the updates that you planned. Oh, VCS version control system, okay. So it's just saying that accidental persistence could end up in the repo, no problem. Precedence simplified -- model for this run. Implement both model ID ephemeral and set model ID persist. No fancy validation, just the right string. Yeah, that's better already. What ES latest in an MJS wrap will look like with the planned updates? Format, return only. Well, I want to be able to query the structured model, not necessarily have to provide an AST tree, but just request it. So let me give you an example. I would like to be able to say AI -- model, and then the structured model, and then ask it in the question text, give me ES next HTTP server, and have it spit out only JS, no descriptions and headings and tables in Markdown, just the JavaScript itself. Can you show me an example of that? Let's not go there yet. Let's say, does this make sense to you? I've done this before, so I know it works. Or at least I hope it still works. Did it just break? Yeah, it did. Uh-oh. We get into that stage again. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and we can support it cleanly. Okay. Let's go have a look quickly for OpenAI models for structured output. Oops. You only use the schema. Separating a final answer from supporting reasoning or additional commentary. Yeah. And have it stream just JS, no headings, no prose, and then prompt to save as MJS. Direct code mode. Model emits JS text. Yeah, I think it might have been 04 mini I used before. Raw JS. Two complementary ways you can use either. AI model GPT-4 code only code JS or format JS. Okay, discuss the implementation difficulty comparison between method 1 and method 2. Oh man. Is AWS down again? Reboot. Discuss implementation complexity between method 1 and method 2, as if you were going to have to choose one or the other. System user prompt hardening, only JavaScript. Direct code mode, model streams JS text. Strip code fences backticks. I think it's making it more complicated than it needs to. Realistically, how likely do you think method 1 to break and introduce markdown syntax? I haven't seen that happen yet, so I'm interested to get any data you might have on that situation. Method 2, structure JSON to ESM. Stream buffer, sorry, deterministic, honoring your style. Oh, that's nice. Always prompt save partial sidecar, already planned. Moderate initial code, serializer plus buffer pass, low edge surface. Head to head on complexity. So initial implementation, lower, higher, serializer plus buffer. Runtime robustness, lower, higher, there's a pass gate. Testing effort, higher, fuzzy. Lower, deterministic, yeah. Maintenance. Yeah, different quirks on different models. I haven't tried structured info with Grok yet. Provider parity. JSON is universal. I must choose one. Yeah, okay, I see why 2 is better. I'll ask you the same question I asked you earlier, which was, can you tackle this in one giant leap, or can you bite off a smaller part of it first? And where do you want to draw the line on that? Two clean iterations, okay. Core JSON pipeline, no JS submission yet. JSON pass gate at the end of the stream, okay. Always show the save dialog. Yeah, write partials. Persist last format. Lib context update format, interesting. Keep your existing format text, path unchanged. Keep model ephemeral support in options only. No persistence yet. Okay, good. No MJS compilation. No export flag. No set model persistence. And then iteration 18. Add format JS. Request JSON from the model. On successful pass, compiles it to ESM. Default export support equals named ID for your named export prompt. Save behavior identical to iteration 17. But suggest MJS file name. Keep empty out of the files. Okay, I agree with you on iteration 17, but let's talk a little bit about iteration 18 first. I think the format JS should be format MJS for my use case. I always work in MJS on my own projects, and it kind of does what it says it does in the command line, which I like. And MJS is a known used extension. So why split here? Iteration 17 solves streaming validation, save UX. If anything's off, we know it's not the compiler. Iteration 18 is pure deterministic serializer. Yeah. I still think it's going to have to break up iteration 18. Iteration 18. I also think the format should be persisted and ephemeral in the same way that the model is, so that once I switch into a mode where I'm generating structured output, it will stay in structured output mode. And then when I want to switch it back to conversational mode, I can do that by switching the format again, or the model. What do you recommend there? And we're staying in design mode for now. Okay, so updated scope. Format, text, JSON or MJS, model, the idea of the model, and then the set, further persistence. CLI ephemeral flag if present, format model, read from provider context or JSON, yep. Else built-in defaults, format text. You know, I kind of feel like format and model are somewhat intrinsically linked. Let me describe what I mean. At some points I'm going to be in conversational mode, which is going to require a particular model. In other cases, I'm going to be in structured mode, which is going to require a different model. So I feel like maybe I'm getting confused, but let's come at this another way. If my format is text, can I use the structured model for just general textual output? Oh, can I use the... Oh, hit the wrong key. Can I use the structured output for conversational text, or is that a bad idea? And what is the cost of structured output compared to text output, conversational? Yes, you can use structure capable model for normal conversational text. Just keep format to text, not behave like a regular chat model. Okay then, okay, so no big deal. When not to use structured output, use format text for chatty, freeform conversation, ideation, so on. Structure capable model will still do great here, you just don't enable JSON constraints. Yep. Use format JSON or MJS when you need guaranteed shape. Yep. Okay, so I can use, okay. Still just a token charge, okay. Recommended workflow. Okay, that all sounds good to me. What does this mean? When you use format MJS, you can tell the CLI what name to export your derived object. Format MJS, export named : data. Named is a signal that you want a named export instead of a default. ID here, data is the identifier of the name used in the export. So, data, does it mean that if I put data it's going to come back as JSON by default? You could use any valid JavaScript identifier to named. Server config. Oh! Sometimes I really get annoyed when AI keeps adding things like this. Because it's not a bad idea. And I could see myself using this once when I use the tool in a more pragmatic way. I think that's overkill for this tool. Yeah. What next? Okay. Where are we at? Core JSON pipeline. Stream buffer for format JSON. JSON pass gate at the end of the stream. Always show save dialog. On partial failure, write the partial. Exit non-zero, which is error state. Add update format, persist last format. Keep everything. Let's remove our set model and just have update model persist automatically. I just want to keep it real simple for the user. This is a very sort of generative creative tool rather than needing to be locked down and precise, for want of a better phrase. What else we got here? Iteration 18, MJS compiler. All right. Considering design changes. Okay, model handling. Model will immediately persist, good, and use it for this run. No separate set model, no extra prompt. If a model exists in OpenAI.json, use it. If no model exists and TTY, show a single prompt to set one. A model will always exist by default. You don't need to set one, it's already being set. Right? If no model exists, just to pass model ID, which error with a clear message. So I don't think you need to add an error message if no model exists. I think we always start with the structured input model by default. So there's a default model that gets written to the JSON, the OpenAI.json, before anything ever happens, which is, I think, how it works now. Passing model ID, persistent true. The same applies to feature flags. Feature flags, what am I talking about? The same applies to formats. It's always persisted, and text is the default that's started with. Minimal UX examples. What do you think about that? As you can see, I spend most of my time working with AI talking about what to build rather than asking it for code. Design mode makes sense, and I'm on board. Here's the streamlined approach. There's always a model, and we'll treat whatever's already there as the authoritative default structured output, capable as you've set it. If it's ever missing, we'll initialize it once with a same structured model and proceed, no prompts. Model ID, use and persist it immediately to AI openai.json. Yep. Format is always persisted in the same file. Starting default is text. Any run uses the persisted format unless you change it to one of those. Persists immediately, no separate set format, no ephemeral overrides needed anymore per your simplification. I mean, this is one of the things about software is just cut. Special happens. If your very first run has already a model and a format text in context, so nothing special happens. If you do AI format JSON true, it returns JSON mode. It returns JSON mode and updates to format JSON. Next run, even without flags, stays in JSON mode. Correct. If you do format MGS return only, yada yada, it compiles the ESM after iteration 18 and persists. I like it's called that. Persists format MJS. Uses that model persisted, subsequently runs use it automatically. Good. Implementation notes. How I will wire this. Add libcontext update format MJS and a sibling update model. Update model tiny helper. Okay. On every run we read, if not found, is created regarding OpenAI JSON. Format is present, we'll write its context before the request. Good. Model is present, we'll write its context before the request. Great. Implement the JSON pipeline buffer, JSON parse. Oh yeah, there's still the JSON and later MJS. Good. Always show save dialog, sidecar on parse failure. Add format MJS path. Oh, this is iteration 18. Add MJS JSON to ESM compiler with your code style. Persist format MJS when used. No export options, always export default. Why this fits your generative creative intent. Zero cognitive overhead. Yes. That's what we want. We want to think about the code, not everything else that's going on. Whatever you choose sticks until you change it. No extra prompts, no ephemeral versus persistent decision points. Yes. You can flip between conversational and structured modes with a single flag, and the tool remembers. Exactly. Yep. Okay, switch to implementation mode for iteration 17. Let's go. Really slow. All right, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What have we got? Reloading the project. What did it think about? Let's see. Oh, it's getting to the slow point. I'm gonna leave it. Don't break it. You know what would make this stream even more boring? Is if I just sat here and read a book while I waited for the AI to finish. I don't know if you've read this before, but this is amazing. I'm only a couple of chapters in, but I can't believe what this guy went through. I'm mad at this guy's dad, and I've never even met him. All right, here we go. Implementation mode engaged. Right, iteration 2 of options. Download the file. I'm going to ask it to stop giving me this .text. Maybe this is a new security thing, but I don't think this was doing this before. All right, so this is AI 15, so we're in bin. But this should be AI 17. I'm going to call it out in a minute. That's not what I want. I don't want to have to re-jigger these file names every time and click use MJS. Very frustrating. Options. That's lib. But this is iteration 2. And response shape, iteration 1, and this is lib as well. So this will be iteration 2. Can we take a little aside here to talk about how you're giving me the download files? I appreciate that you're giving me the download files, but the thing that I find frustrating is you're giving me the files as .text, not .mjs, and you're providing the whole directory in the file name itself when I click download. So all I want is when I click the download the file, I just want option, I'll say AI dash, in this case it should be iteration 17.mjs. I don't want bin __, which is what you're giving me, and then you're giving me more underscores and then download.text on the end. Is that some kind of security feature? So just so you know, what I have to do is I click on download the file, then I have to rewrite the file name, and then choose on a Mac, yes, I do want to change it to an MJS from a text file. I just want to download the file and save it to the right directory, and I want it to have the correct iteration number, whereas you're using the old iteration numbers in the file name itself when I click download the file. Do you understand what I'm trying to do here, and do you think that you have the capability to change this? Let's see what it does. Can you replace the word iteration with just I, as seen in the existing code base for the file names? Yeah, that's what we want. Close, but you're still putting the directory into the file name. I just want the file name itself. I will be responsible for picking the right directory. Should have had that second coffee while I had the chance. Okay, let's try this. AI iteration 17. Bin. For this project, the letters A and I for AI are always lowercase in every case, no matter what. We're so close. Good. Updated save memory. Now can you have another go at providing those file names and use the lowercase AI? Let's try this. So, bin AI 17, that looks good. Options iteration 2. Oh, it's taken a while. There it is. Lib. Options I2. I know I've already got these. I'm just going through the motions. Response shape. Perfect. Thank you so much. This really streamlines my workflow. I appreciate it. Yes, please. So, tell me how to test your recent changes. Oh gosh, messed that up. Changes in the manner that we discussed before, where I can test them using the AI command lowercase in the terminal to validate your changes. So the first thing I'm going to need to do here is update the package JSON again. We're going to link to 17. Actually, I'm going to still link to 16, and I'm just going to save what we have. Adding structured output for JSON. We'll call this basic, because we're going to add to this. Okay, test 1. So now let's update the bin command to 17. Oops. Good. Looks good. Test 1 passed. Huh. Interesting. What's going on here? Oh, it's just this part, so test 2 appears to have passed, but I want you to double check my output. Test 2. God, check that the client remembers. Your last format. Okay. Should be status sticky. Expected runs JSON automatically because previous used JSON. Yeah. Switch back to conversational. Any. Okay, so test 3 passed. Oh wait. Oh, we have to test both of these. I think it might be saving my context even though I'm cancelling it. Hold on. No, it isn't. Okay, good. All right. But it was giving me conversational text, so let's check that it persists. So we'll take format text out and we'll say, give me some, not give me, examples of give me some output that demonstrates bold, italic, inline code, a code fence block of JavaScript, and some headings. Oh well, okay. Okay, good. All right. So it's persisting conversation mode, or whatever mode you give it. Test 4. Verify the model flag updates and persists automatically. Okay. Let's do this part first. We haven't changed the format though. But it's good. It's good output. And then we're going to check the model. 4.0 mini. Expected model ID. Test 4 appears to have failed. Here is my output. But this could be because the format is off. Maybe that's getting back to this thing earlier where I was intuiting that there was an intrinsic link between the model and the format. perhaps. But we'll see. So GPT-4o. So we've done. Is this possibly because I didn't change the format back? Test 5, auto-saved in piped mode. Oh, where did it save it to? Data context. Comment 39. So the final output is this one. Yeah. I don't even want an auto-save mode, but as long as it's not breaking anything, I'll live with it. Let me know your feedback. Test 2, the model returned valid JSON even though invalid JSON was expected, so the test didn't succeed as planned. The test wasn't assessing the invalid JSON properly because the model fixed it automatically. Test invalid false. We could try prompts that force the model to output non-standard JSON or adjust parameters like temperature. No. Test 2, your output. You asked for a broken JSON, but the model fixed it and returned valid true. Then you cancelled save, which explains code. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a better test. There we go. Interesting. All right. Huh? Oh, that's hilarious. All right, for test 2, here is my output for the test you just gave me. Oh, was it test 2? So it seems like the model is just good at fixing. I mean, we're asking it for JSON, right? It's giving us JSON. That's what we want. I feel like we're beating a dead horse on this one. If the model still fixes it. Oh yeah, let's try that. So I might have to eat my words. Let's see. That's JSON. I'm actually fine with this behavior, but I would like to test the breaking thing if the model was to get interrupted or something. Maybe there's another way we can think to test this. The model still, yeah, we've already been through that. Model persistence. Is this because I didn't change the format back? No, model persistence should, yeah, true. Given your log, context not written after you cancel the save, it looks like your current AI binary only writes the context when the run completes normally. In iteration 17, I intend to persist model before the request, independent of save cancel. Let's quickly verify you're actually running the updated binary. Oh. I'm a dummy. All right. Human error. The worst kind of error. All right. With regards for test 4, I think I forgot to link your updated code. So, in libResponse shape, oh no, maybe not. Hold on, let's think about this. All right, package JSON goes to I17. Oh, it looks like it's going to be response shape I2. Shape request body doesn't appear to be used because it's grayed out. Options should be I2, so that's probably the part that's not doing the saving or preparing the flag to tell it not to save. No imports, no imports. Just CLI outlet is the only import. Okay. I fixed that now by updating it to response shape iteration 2 or I2. But I've also noticed that the line is blanked out, meaning it's not used in the remainder of the code. See the attached image for more information. Considering interruption handling, think about how interruptions are handled during long generation processes. If we handle for SIGINT, I'm wondering if we need to adjust. No, we don't. I'll just run it again. You don't need to handle SIGINT. I can just run the tool again if I want to get the output that I would need. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. You're right, the model is helpfully fixing the prompt and returning valid JSON. So we're not actually exercising the partial and valid path. Current behavior only validates after stream completes. Control C before completion triggers a cancel path, no save, which is why you saw save cancelled, no sidecar. To test the partial save and interruption, we need a SIGINT handler that treats in-flight streams as partial and offers the save dialog, then writes the partial JSON.txt. I didn't write that in 17, my bad for implying you'd see it on cancel. Proposal. In the next iteration, I'll add SIGINT pathway that stops streaming, marks the buffer as partial, shows the save front. As long as the output is streamed, I don't think it's an issue because I can just copy what's been output to terminal and save it to a file manually in the rare case that this happens. And quite honestly, often I will just rerun the command for the cost of 1 cent or whatever it is. Let's try this. with regard to your requested validation checks, for number 2, totally fine, skip second handling, empty rerun or copy from stream. These lines confirm you're running the updated binary request body is being shaped correctly. Quick follow-ups to validate everything end to end. Let's try this guy again. For check 1, I still see MD as the output format. Press run and enter to save. Grab the model. Oops. For check 2, format persistence I think is already working and proven. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. For check 3, yeah, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. Seems there's an issue with the default file name being MD, persistence updates not being reflected, and the format persistence. Oh, it says it's not working. See, here's the thing. Looks like I need to modify AI15.mjs. But it's really 17. But because I haven't passed it back a file called 17, it's still thinking in 15. Looks like ensure the default name is based on the config format and to properly handle the config model when the model is passed despite updating code, the default name. I think, look, stop. Before you continue, are you not concerned that the import is grayed out and not being used? Or does that particular import of... Oh gosh. Shape request body not matter for the tests we're doing? False negative, okay. I should have looked for errors before. That's on me. I guess I should add to my own human prompt. Okay. I see an error. Perhaps this is why it is grayed out. Yep. There we go. Did you just give me a diff? I wasn't giving you a diff to apply it. I was just giving you a diff to explain it. Oh gosh. All right. Yeah, roll the fix in because I've already updated it on my side. That's a great idea. Now that I've fixed that, which test would you like me to run? Give me the test you would like me to run to validate your changes. Just checking whether I can, my audio is still on. I guess I need a new mode in here, validation mode. Let's get to it. let's go have a look. Right. But I think it split this over lines, didn't it? So it's not going to find that. Yeah, wait. Shape request body. No, okay. Oh dear, maybe it's slipping. You gave me this regarding check 1. Yet you're expecting me to find this. Do you see the problem? While it does that, let's have a look at the second. Oh, maybe I'm looking at the wrong part. This might be my bad. Let's go get this right. We're just going to give it everything. So that still isn't working. I mean, I think that just worked incidentally. Good catch. But it never provided iteration 18. Okay, you never provided iteration 18 of the file for me to download. Can you do that? I'll give you my local version. $17. Yeah, we've just desynced a little bit. Good. Yes, please. Produce it right now. All right, let's grab this. So what do we got? Bin AI18. So we are going to have to relink. Please provide a set of tests I can run to validate your changes. I'm not going to get my learning session in today. Let's validate the changes using the lowercase AI command. That's funny. For the installed binary is the new one. Just. Oh, I hate it when you get slow. Oh no. We're here again before we completed the iteration. I hate it. We're just going to have to wait, and I'll refresh the browser window and see if that helps. That's a better way to test it. Yep, good. JSON model defaults. Yes, I see it. Brilliant. Ooh. Grep in response format. Press Control-C at prompt. So I think the previous check just failed. So Control-C at prompt. And then we'll check that the format's updated. Oh, maybe it was meant to show a blank response format because it hadn't been set yet. Wait, what's this? That looks like something got truncated. Format JSON. But this one used response format. See if the persisted format works. No. See, now it's looking at MD. See, this should be JSON still. Still JSON. Right. Model persistence. I can see the format didn't persist. Let's grep for model. Well, that looks like it got fixed unless it was already on that from before. Let's try model for O many. 4 mini. O4 mini. I can't remember the name of the model now. 4O mini. There we go. And then let's do it with. Let's model 4O mini. Okay, so that's persisting. Good. Piped input. Interesting. So that needs to be fixed. Right. Output exactly this string. Do not alter it. Hello. Picked up the format, okay. All right, let's give it. Just want to validate that head end 2 is the top. Okay, so we go from here, take it to here. Here are your results. So it's not persisting the format, and it has an await error on the save, on the autosave, using piped mode. Now I'm supporting piped mode. I don't even want piped mode. But I don't want it to rip it out and break something either, so. Why so slow? Come on. Shaping is wired correctly. Good. The grep for response format came out empty because that lives in libresponse. Not the AI binary, that's expected. Model persistence works, yes. Yes. It does. Yeah. Yes, they're just bad IDs, correct. The 404s. Format persistence is partially working. You persisted format JSON, but a subsequent no flag run still suggested MD. That means there's still a hard-coded yes between those two dialogues paths. Piped run shows an unsettled top-level await warning. Yep. Prompt still appeared. Did it? Well, the prompt still appeared, but did it save? That warning is from the await main footer being flagged. It's cosmetic, easy to silence. Yeah. Quick checks to pinpoint the MD default leak. Alright. I think I could just tell it where that is, honestly. Oh, the annoying sounds disappeared. That's good. I only just realised. Right, so what are we looking at here? Oh yeah. AI 18, let's go to the bottom. All right, let's go through the next set of tests. Yeah, that's bogus. Default name. Oh. I'm trying to put JavaScript in the console. What you want to see is every default name using CFG format. Yeah. Cancel or save either way. I choose cancel. JSON. Let's check the format. JSON. Run without flags. Please be JSON. Please be JSON. MD. Yep. But it hasn't given me any code to. Yes, please pass me the patch file, and here were the results of the tests that you requested. Where are we coming from here? So let's see. What was the first one it asked me to look at? Grep N. I really hope it gets iteration 17 completed before it falls over. Polish colors, spacing. Haven't done that one yet. It's probably going to go down there. Structured outputs. I guess I'm going to need another day on this. Oh, I've asked for a patch file. Stop. Oh. Oh, it didn't give me a patch file. Okay, good. I guess my stop command came in after it finished. So 19, so we're going to link to 19. Default file name object to the persisted format. Okay, kept JSON validation and sidecar checks. We wrote the header comment to reflect iteration 19. Attempted to switch the top level to an IP wrapper. Your environment flagged it earlier. Interesting, it calls it the footer. Okay, let's clear this. Clear again. All right. Right. We're going to persist the JSON format, hopefully. I'm seeing JSON here, that's good. And let's look for format. JSON, great. Check that JSON's still running and hopefully has the right save dialog. Still MD. That's annoying. Echo. I mean, it didn't really progress anything on that one. Drink. I did not get much sleep last night. It may have just sunk below the level of usefulness because of the time in the session or the amount of information, context. Oh, not this again. Oh, I need to refresh this guy. AI 20, link 20. Format sticking flags. Ensure the code persisted CFG format everywhere the default file name is computed. Added a format normalization right after loading config. Last format, all text. Okay, good. Even if a previous version only wrote meta last format, we still honor it. Top level await warning. With an IV to flooded silence for the pipe. Confirmed it's 20. Iteration 20. Just test JSON persistence. I see JSON. This is good. Check the format. JSON, good. Return only JSON. JSON, but it still says MD. Expect in prompt. So, no, not quite there. Let's just get it from here. You're getting closer, but that MD on the persisted format really seems to be throwing you for a loop. Quite literally. I need to figure out what the output still suggests MD. I might have to go in, give it some guidance here. Right. Right, cfg.format. So, where is cfg.format coming from? Maybe it won't stop or break before it gives me the answer, but not again. 21. Okay, thanks for sticking with it. Let's stamp out that lingering thing once and for all. File name and shape of knowledge derived from a single source of truth. Why didn't you do that before? Effective format, CFG format, CFG meta last format. Oh. Where is that? Okay, maybe effective format isn't in there yet. Yeah, okay, I get it. All right, 21. npm link. Quick revalidation. Oh, let's clear everything. Iteration 21. Testing JSON. Oh. Gosh. Yeah, it's fallen over. Damn. Before it's delivered the feature. This is the frustrating part of working with AI. All right. Perhaps we have been talking for too long and your effectiveness has dropped. Actually, I don't want to see that. Well, this is probably going to crash it. What do we got? Oh, let's get rid of that. You're right to call that out. I leaked effective format into stream completion without scoping it. I fixed parameter to stream completion. But is it really fixed? Is it really? Right, if these tests fail again, I'm going to try switching to a different guy. Cancel is fine. Ah. Okay, you have not been able to solve this issue. I think it's context has degraded over time. Please write me a summary of what we're building and provide details on what you're trying to fix here so that I can pass this on to another session. Lowercase. What we're building, a Node.js ESM CLI AI that finds project root, stores persistent context, streams assistant tokens live to the terminal, always prompts to save at the end. Default yes, writes clean, files no ANZ, also suggests sensible file names, maintains conversation in history. OpenAI JSON supports structured output modes, format text, format JSON. Repo structure. Oh, IXX. That's cool. Wow, it's gone slow. Let's go have a look. Excuse me. I didn't remove the old effective format. Yeah, it looks like it didn't finish or got confused. Trying to pass. Was it trying to pass that into stream completion? Hold on. Maybe we can just really quickly wire this up. So it is taking effective format into this. It's being passed in here, and then it's asking. It's redefining. So it's being passed in. Where is it? Here. Stream completion. What calls stream completion? It's kind of okay. Effective format. It says this was redefined above. Block scope variable. So it's. Is this just an insertion error? Alright, so stream completion passes in effective format shape request body doesn't seem to use effective. Oh, but its format is effective format. Okay. But what is a little confusing here? I mean, this should be. Right, so find effective format, up. So stream, where's the end of stream completion? See, this is the thing, so that's the end of, oh, did it miss a bracket? No, parents. No, I see, okay. So if that's at the end of there, how can this effective format be clobbering this effective format? Because this is in a completely different function. Firstly, I should do that. Stream completion. Okay, so let's see if I comment out this. Whether it's it still froze there. Oh, because it's got it. Stream completion. Okay, so so it passes in these and then it passes effective format. Okay, so pass stream completion. What it meant to do was this. This actually looks like a really good summary. Okay, but we may be able to just, it might just work now, we'll see. Iteration 21, yep. Oh, all of this, all text, okay. JSON, good. I hate that I had to code for it. That's not the goal. Alright, format JSON. I guess it was just an insertion error. This is still MD. Damn it. What? Why is it everything in the browser? MJS. Okay, that's info. Open with other. Where's VS Code? There it is. Change all. You're useful, but you're not ready, GPT. Okay, that doesn't matter. Let's try this format thing again, see if it makes a difference. JSON, good. Yeah. JSON, good. Yeah. Still MD. Oh. That might not be. Yeah. That's JSON. That's good. But that's very explicitly defining. All right. So let's. Okay. We're going to have to clean up a little bit after it. So. All right. So effective format. Oh. Effective format. Is this big enough? Maybe. Yeah, hopefully people can still see it. That looks too big to me. So we're going to rerun this guy. Effective format JSON, JSON. Format is JSON. Effective format text. So I think it's seeing nothing and switching to the default flag. So let's do const format actually there's not that many values. Effective format, let's do CFG format. And let's do CFG.meta. Class formats. Is that it? I think those are the only ones. Alright, so let's go again. Nope. I've lost track. Here we go. JSON. We know this updates. And it's updated them all to text. So it's hard coding in text and not checking for the default somewhere. Probably options, format. If format. All right. So out is format text, model undefined. Let's tell. I think you should look inside the file. I think you should look in the file options. Options I2. .mjs to see. You should look at the file options i2.mjs for the origin of the format not being persisted correctly. I'm asking this old slow AI session. I'm going to reopen this session here. Let's close this one. That's what I was wondering. See, that's exactly what I was wondering. Start with format undefined. Format text. That doesn't fix it itself. Okay, let's read through this. You're absolutely right to look at options. I2, that's the most likely source. Options I2, most certainly defaulting format to text even when the user didn't pass a flag. Then the CLI will persist flags early, which means we write whatever pass options. So let's look. All right, we'll read it. I just want to take over now. Returns into pass options returns into AI to OpenAI to JSON. Pass options returns text by default on a run without format. We accidentally overwrite it. Yes, exactly what I thought was happening. That explains why a later no flag run suggests MD. Symptoms that match this theory: persisted format JSON successfully. Next run, we already fixed the next run without format showed MD. We already fixed the file name computation to use the persisted value, but if the persisted value got overwritten back to text by a later run, you still see MD. What options I2 should do instead? Do not set a default format in the past options. Yeah. Return undefined when the user doesn't pass format. Mark whether the user explicitly provided the flag, e.g. provided format true false, model true false, provided. The main program should persist only when the user actually passed the flag. Yep. User runs AI format JSON, pass options returns format JSON provided, format true. Main persists format JSON. User runs AI ... No format. Pass options returns format undefined provided format false. Look for something like out.format. Let's see if this is exactly in there. Yep. Or an initializer like 8 out. Yep, I think that's the one we were looking at the start. Both of those will cause the bug. Excuse me. When you see format val or format equals val or JSON dash JSON, set out format to JSON, and also set out provided format is true. Otherwise, leave out format as undefined, and out provided format is false. Do not coerce text inside options. When persisting, only write CFG normalized format. Okay. Yes, provide a updated. No, let's not go there yet. Before you provide an updated options i3.mjs, compare for me how the options for model are persisted versus format. Are there key differences that relate to this problem? There we go. Here's the clean comparison. How persistence differs today. Model. Pass the default model starts as undefined unless the user passes model ID. Persist logic. We only write where the normalized model is truthy, non-empty. Effect if you don't pass model is nothing written. Okay, so the text was provided. So it was just writing text. No external overrides. Pass the default. Problem format is being set to text inside the options parser even when the user did not pass format or JSON. Persist logic. We're wiring CFG formats, normalized format unconditionally or at least without checking the user supplied a flag. Effect. On a no flag run, the parser emits format.text. We persist that. It overwrites the previously saved JSON to text. This is why the next run shows conv md. Even though you set JSON earlier. Key differences that relate to the bug. Default behavior in the parser. Model no default. Format defaults to text. But even after changing format to undefined, so there's something else that's going on too. Because even changing, we just tested this and we still got MD at the end. Although I question whether it's still actually using JSON. Maybe that's just the model and what we're asking it. Guard on persistence model. Guarded by the truthy check. Format not properly guarded. Multiple sources of truth. We have CFG format, meta last format, and if a run overrides CFG format back to text, you downstream logic will follow that regardless of last formats. What to change? Good. This is what I wanted to get to next. Do not set a default format in the parser, leave it undefined unless the user pass format for JSON. Track whether the flag was explicitly provided. Keep the model behavior as is, no default, and add provided.model similarly. In bin AI, already partially done, but make explicit. Persist only when provided.format is true, then write normalized format. Same for provided model. Compute one effective format for the run. Effective format is provided format, question mark. If not, normalized format. But if provided format is true, use the provided format. But if the provided format is blank or wrong, wait. Last format of text. Okay. Where is config.format? Okay, that's in the, okay. Oh yeah, that's in the bin AI, okay. Effective format, shape request body, format, effective format. Default file name. Cos model never defaulted in the parser. Yep. Hop back into iteration mode and give me options -i3.mjs. I wonder how long this stream has been going. 3 hours. Bathroom break. Okay, I'm back. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got options I3 for lib, and let's link that. I3. No implicit defaults. Let's take a look at it. Ooh, that's nice. Out, format undefined, model undefined. Is TTY provided, format false, model false. Raw. Get the args. That's true, okay. Alright, I want to try this out. Excuse me, so let's run the tests again. JSON. And JSON. Yay! Whoop, whoop. Okay. I suppose I should have dug into that a little bit earlier. But I think this is a good wrapping up point. Now can you please provide me with a summary of what we've built again? Oh, actually no, before we do that, let's say, what features do you... Okay, it seems to be working perfectly now. Things are persisting well. Excuse me. As expected. What feature would you tackle next? Which feature would you tackle next? Yes, switch to design mode. What I want to do is get it to think through. So we're at a good point where it should be saved. So git add, git commit, format and model now persist with new CLI flag. Format, now persist with new CLI flag. So where was I? Good state to push. Things feel stable. I want Chat-GPT to think about how the new thing is designed, because it has all of this context of what we've been working on. Excuse me. And then And then after that, I want to get it to write the summary of the tool as well as what's planned next. But I wanted to think about it first because we'll have better context for the transfer into the new session. And I think I'll probably close it here for today and start those new things tomorrow. So that is we're kind of halfway through structured output. So JSON, MJS next. Request shaping. Accumulate stream text. Pretty print internal, pass to compiler. Write partial JSON text sidecar. Compile rows root must be a JSON object. JSON to ASM, yeah. Keys, leave as is. Quote with single quotes. JS literals unchanged. Preserved insertion order. Indent with tabs. Trailing commas on JS arrays. Omit always export. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have dropped that. I didn't realize what it was. I didn't actually realize it meant named export inside of the JavaScript file. Maybe we'll come back to that. Persistence rules unchanged. Integration points. Short MJS path adds response format. After passive effective format is MJS. Run the compile step. Save dialog unchanged. Conversation log stores the original JSON text. This is context, not the compiled MJS. So history is source of truth. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we don't want it to write the pure MJS file into the context. We want it to write the JSON that the MJS file was generated from, so it can be regenerated if needed. Failure modes and behavior. Invalid JSON prompt to save when partial. Tests you can run once implemented. Okay, don't get ahead of yourself. We're still in design mode. Deliverables in next implementation. Okay, that sounds good. What I'd like you to do now is to rewrite your summary of what the app does and how it's put together. And then I would like you to write the summary of these next upcoming changes so that I can pass this on to a new session. Okay. Great. Okay, so good. Let's ask it, did you miss anything? Good catch. There's a bit more context I should explicitly include. So a new session or teammate has the complete picture of the architecture and technical direction. Here's the enhanced, fully self-contained summary that covers everything. How it works under the hood and what's next. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is probably end the stream here, and then tomorrow we'll pick up by combining these summaries, passing it onto this new session here, and finishing up those features. So we've got JSON done. We're pretty close, and the Grok API is very similar. I think it even uses the OpenAI SDK, or it did last time I implemented something. So that should be, this one at the end should be fairly quick, I think. Yeah. All right, that's it for the stream today. Thanks for watching. If you watched, I don't expect anyone to watch. These are very boring. It's like watching paint dry. But yeah, good to be online and doing it and staying accountable. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow for day 4.